Computer audio.
All right. Hey, John.
What's up? How you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm well. I can't complain. I can't complain.
Yeah. Thank you so much for, coming on the show. I
Nah, I
appreciate it.
appreciate you for having me, man. I definitely be tuned in, man. And you definitely be having some dope interviews, man. So I appreciate get winning.
No, for sure, for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and start introduce the show, and then we're gonna jump right into it.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, cool, cool. All right, so welcome to another special edition with How I Did It. I'm Taylor Brown, and I'm here with Jonathan Middlebrooks. So Jonathan Middlebrooks is a music artist. He plays the saxophone. We go way back since Bishop McNamara High School. So Jonathan, again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
For sure. Nah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So now, John, I'm a professional athlete, and what COVID has done for sports and for athletes right now. Like the wobble and the bubble and everything. Um,
Hmm.
so like for athletes playing without crowds now has been difficult for some players and just coaches and stuff. For musicians historically, have needed listeners, right, and an audience,
Right.
fans and stuff like that. What is
Yeah.
life looking like these days for you? Since COVID has hit.
Um, it's been interesting. I feel like at first it was kind of just trying to get adjusted or trying to wait it out. But I think once we realized that COVID wasn't going anywhere, like the music industry or artists as a whole just started turning in different ways to kind of get their content out.
Yeah.
On the saxophone playing side of things, though, it's been pretty good because people have still been having like private dinners and private events. And I think over the summer I played at a lunch party at a brunch. I played for an anniversary, wedding anniversary. So it's still been like private gigs and things like that going on. But as far as like music and streaming and things like that, people had to get creative and find different ways.
Yeah. No, for
Mhm.
sure. One way, I've seen you started your own T-shirt line or T-shirt clothing line. Like, talk to me about that. Like, what inspired you to do that? I know you've been doing T-shirts before, but what inspired you to drop that?
So this shirt that I have right here is it's called the Summer's Ours, and it has a
Yeah.
logo on the back. I dropped a project this summer called the Summer's Ours, and it was pretty much just like a ode to 2020 and just making the most of the summertime, even though it was in COVID. Whether that's just spending time with family or getting a breath of fresh air. But from the like starting T-shirt and merch side of things, I just realized that people want to grab onto more than just your music, and
Mm,
you give them something else to relate to, or if they really like a song or a project and they can have like a piece of that to keep with them, it just builds that connection between you and the your support and your fan base more.
yeah,
So I always try to drop some type of merch just to go along with the music, to help embody everything.
for sure, for sure. And you've been playing saxophone since high school,
Back
college. Yeah, like, how has just playing, I guess, like in the school environment, prepare you to be kind of like an independent music artist? How does that help prepare you?
um, well, in high school, playing in the concert band and playing classically trained music, it was cool because I got a real like grip and understanding on music and just the technical side of things. And then when I went to college and I played in a marching band, I went from having to read my music to having to be able to play everything by ear. And that was the first time I ever played by ear was in college in a marching band, and I was so like nervous of it at first.
Yeah,
Um, that experience really like elevated me, and now majority of things that I do play, it's just a matter of me hearing the song a couple of times and then being able to pick it up by ear. So I think me being in the marching band in college was probably one of the biggest things that really helped me as far as my musicianship.
yeah, no,
Sure.
definitely, definitely. And one thing I've noticed about you, John, is your support system. From all your friends and your family. Like, how important has that been to you and for you? With your music career.
It's been very important. Uh, it's been very important, man. This journey is not is not for the faint of heart, and
Yeah.
it's funny because I feel like if you know, they always say like, would you have started the journey if you knew what it was going to be like once you began? And you know, it's really hard to say once you're in the thick of it. But I can say that my support system and like my family and my loved ones, like they've been there for me since day one. They looked out for me, and just more than anything, just been that encouraging word to keep pushing. And I think that's more than anything, I feel like that's what you know, creators and entrepreneurs need, is just somebody in their corner to tell them to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
So
I
I feel like
definitely.
that's with our own mind so much.
Yeah, no, I definitely can relate. Just even me as, playing ball, going overseas and stuff, it's a waiting game, so it's
Mhm.
like you gotta have that support system to keep going and all that. So I can relate to that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the investment side as far as, being a musician and, in the
Mhm.
music industry, what it takes, of course, the amount of time, but, the money to put into it, to produce good music. I was listening to one of your interviews, with Little Bacon. You were talking about how you just really want to put out good music.
Mhm.
So what does it take to do that, to do the work that you do?
Um, well, I think well, on the investment side of things, like it definitely is an investment. You know, I definitely have to be strategic or smart or choose to not buy, you know, whatever new clothes or Jordans just dropped, and to put that money into, you know, a project or a song. I laugh all the time, but I'll be saying like, you know, I have a project called Late to Party, and I was like, you know, my Late to the Party EP is like, was my trip to Cancun, or like, you know, like this song was
Yeah.
my new pair of whatever, because that's where I'm putting a lot of my dollars. And it's crazy, this year I decided to go ahead, and I should have been did it, but I was like, I need to go ahead and get my LLC, because I've been, you know, I've been shelling out money for my passion and my craft for so long.
Right. Right.
Like, let me go ahead and make sure I have the proper things in place. And then just from the standpoint of, you know, what I feel like is putting out quality music, it's just something that's going to resonate. I
Mm.
think that's the biggest thing I always go for, like whether it's the song topic or whether it's the melody or you know, some of the lyrics in the song. I just always try to make sure that it's something in there that's going to really have a listener, like, you know, want to replay it, or, you know, want to tweet it or discuss it.
Right. Right.
I feel like if you can do that, then that's a quality song, you know.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. So, when you got the opportunity, was it 93.9? Refresh my memory. When you
Not
won
yeah,
the
93.9.
Yeah, when you won the competition, that was super dope. I remember being in the car, man, just listening to your song play over and over and over. And I literally called in, but I could never like get a hold. Like I would try to like both of
Okay,
you.
okay. Hey, well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no, that was really exciting. I'm glad you won. And how did that feel, man? Like, did that just feel like all your hard work paid off, or like how was that experience?
Man, it was a blessing, man. It felt really good. I was in Atlanta for some time, and I had just moved back home. And
Mhm.
within my first year moving back home, you know, I ended up on the radio station back home, and I felt like I felt like I was starting over from scratch. And you know, me just getting that win, and for me to do it on my own, you know, I had management in the past that had taken me to radio stations and things like that. But for it to happen organically on his own, just
Yeah,
showed me, you know, that guy got his hand on the situation, and that, you know, this is still where I need to be putting my energy. So it was just a confirmation, and I was just really thankful, man.
yeah,
I was really thankful. And that was my first time seeing how it worked, like calling in and, you know, all that type of stuff. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that was super dope. That was a exciting experience just to see see you have. So I just want to
I
send
appreciate it.
yeah, man. And just want to send a reminder for everybody who's watching. This is how I did it. We're here with Jonathan Middlebrooks. So John, next question I have for you. Has your music like impacted like your fans or people who personally reached out to you and was like, that song I could really relate to that. Like, what's your feedback like as far from your music?
Um, it's actually funny. Like now, I think I have like a solid. You know, I get feedback from random people all the time, but I do have like a solid maybe like 5 to 6 people who like tune into my music, and some of them I only know through, you know, organically coming across each other musically, or them coming across my music. But they'll like always make sure that they give me like their first opinion of when they listen to it and how it made them feel and what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But the feedback that I get normally is pretty good. Like, you know, my project that I feel like a lot of people are in love with is Late to the Party. And that project was based more so around relationships and love and human interaction. So I have a lot of a lot of my guys, you know, my homies, they'll be like, man, that you were spot on with that song. Like, that's exactly what it feels like to feel like you're too late or feel like you'd have missed your chance because you were whatever the case may be.
Right.
So it's cool. I like that I can have music that resonates with people and that people can like that actually feels tangible to their emotions and like what they've gone through or experienced. So it's definitely cool, and I would definitely appreciate the feedback.
Yeah. So what's the biggest difference? I know you were in Atlanta. I guess from working, you know, in the music industry in Atlanta versus here in DC. Do you have a preference, or are they just completely two different, you know, different places?
Man, it's so tough answering that question because like I guess going to college out there, you know, I went to Morehouse in 2011.
Right.
And then I stayed there till about 2017. So, you know, I grew, you know, that's where I grew up and really started the music, like found my way, found out who I am. So I always have a love for Atlanta. And I just feel like the creativity and energy there is just super strong. There's always like, no matter what you're looking for, you can wake up any day of the week and you can find something creative to tap into if you're that type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as far as inspiration, you can find it, you know, you can find it anywhere. But I feel like being back home is cool because I'm connecting with people who create and do music as well, but I have genuine relationships with them.
Gotcha.
These are people that I've met or known or seen around the area through school, basketball, whatever the case may be. And we're just all aligned on the same type of path. But because I knew them prior, like the relationships are organic. Not a lot of tension or ego, you know. You know, working in a creative industry with people you don't know, sometimes those are things that can just be reoccurring situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that would be the difference, really.
Yeah. No, definitely, that's what's up. So I want to ask you, your one of your latest songs, but you were featuring on one of Autumn's songs, right? And
shout out Autumn, man. Shout out Autumn.
Yeah, I wanted to say, so you rap too, right? Is that also like, or is it kind of more of like singing, rapping? Like I don't know. I thought you were rapping that.
So I was rapping on that, man. So
yeah,
shout out to Autumn. Like she's such a dope artist and wordsmith, and I get like a lot of inspiration from her. And we were just in the studio and she played the record for me, and she said that she said she wanted to get a rapper on it. You know, some time went by, and then next time I pulled up on the studio, I asked, I was like, "You got anybody on the song yet?" She was like, "Nah, not yet." I was like, "All right, let me cook up something for it."
All right.
And then being honest, because she's so dope, like I spent some time with it. Like I think I might have wrote two different verses for it. I had a verse, sat with it for a while. I'm like, man, Autumn came with it, so I got to like redo some things.
Yeah.
And then ended up finding the version I was cool with. So I'm not a rapper, but I would like to say I'm good with I would like to say I'm good with words, and I like to figure out different ways to express that.
Yeah.
Singing is cool, but you can't always tell certain stories singing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
whatever gets the word across or the message across best is what I want to start doing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, it sounded really good. Your voice kind of sounded like the baby. I'm not gonna lie. It flowed really well, so that was cool.
Hey, I appreciate that because I slick was nervous on that. I was like, do I sound like I sound real? Do I sound believable?
Nah,
so yeah, I'm rocking with it.
It was a good flow. So, next thing, not really a question, but I want to kind of do a little throwback video. Kind of show the people who are watching. So let me pull it up real quick. I'm gonna share the screen.
What is it? Oh man.
We're gonna play a song you did, "Sexy Love," the sax cover. You had like 6,000 views. So that was pretty dope. I know that was like a while back. But,
that was a minute ago.
Yeah.
That was my first cover. That was like the first cover video I did.
Yeah, so I definitely want want to show that people probably haven't seen it.
Man,
I got so much stuff open here. Here we go.
I know, I already know. Gee, I got the whole name up there too.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna play this real quick.
Oh man. with the good polo on. Oh man. You know, it's slick smooth though, just a little bit.
I'm gonna pause it there. So I want to ask you about that.
Um,
So looking back at that, what year was that? 2013.
oh, yeah, that was 2013.
Yeah, how does it feel looking back?
Um, it's hilarious. It's hilarious looking back, but I mean that around that time is when I decided like that was sophomore junior, yeah, like sophomore year, and I was like, okay, I'm about to go ahead and really step out here on trying to build my name and my brand, doing my own music thing, and at that time, like I literally was just having ideas and was just doing it, So
Yeah.
I had the Neo song, love that song since a kid. I was like, I know it like the back of my hand on the sax and just shot it. And looking back on it, man, it feels good to still just be continuing to walk my path. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've had times where I could have stopped or wanted to stop or things didn't make sense, but just to still be continuing to figure this thing out, I'm just thankful for that. So
Yeah.
it feels good to see the growth.
Yeah. I definitely understand that. So like when you said there was times you felt like you should have stopped or you thought about it, do you have a particular, do you remember when you exactly you thought of, you were questioning it a little bit or
Man, last week, like, no, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. But really, man, I think at one point in Atlanta, I stayed in Atlanta 3 years after graduating. So graduated in 2015
Mhm.
and stayed until about into 17, 18. And during that time, I had management and like the wheels were rolling, like things were taking place. Like I was traveling, performing at different sound stages in Orlando, Alabama, Tuskegee, different things like that. Going to a couple radio stations and things like that. But the situation that I was in just ended up becoming pretty toxic. And it just wasn't like the best environment for me. And then on top of that, the job I was working, I wasn't making much money. So like as far as like, taking care of myself and doing the best with my eating habits and different things like that, I just felt like I was wearing myself thin. And I just had to, I just had to regroup. I ended up wearing myself too thin and ended up just having to come home and regroup. And I think around that time I was kind of like, all right, man, like what's, like what am I doing? What's up? Like this is not what I expected my first, 3 years out of school to be like,
Right.
situations that I had set up with my manager fell through. So it was just like, where do I really go from here?
Yeah.
But, figured it out,
Yeah.
figured it out. And just listen.
That's what's up. So, you mind me asking? So, like, outside of your music career, what else do you do to help, like provide for yourself in order to keep this dream going?
So outside of music, and I work in the government in DC,
Okay.
um, government contract, and it's pretty cool. It helps with, like I said, just keeping things afloat and having the bread to put into my music. So that's been
Yep.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, like some event planning gigs and things like that I do. Actually, with my sister, she's really good at that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
like when she comes into event planning like gigs and marketing opportunities and things like that, me and her tag team and do some things with that.
Yeah.
And I really, I went to school for marketing, so that's my major. So it's so dope always being able to combine, because music is marketing and figuring out how to get it out and stuff like that. So it's always dope to combine the two. And
Right.
moving forward, I plan to. I've helped brands in the past, but moving forward, I want to really start, trying some of these creative ideas on more than just music.
Mm.
So I'm excited to look to do more of that in 2021.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And definitely want to ask you about your music videos. They always look very, creative. A lot of colors. So are you mainly the one producing your music videos? Do you have like a team that like kind of does that for you?
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, man. I feel like real quick just before I answer that, I feel like
Yeah.
people underestimate, not maybe not underestimate, but just to say it takes a lot it's a lot that has to go into music videos. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? As far as locations, extras, clothes,
Yeah.
shooters, like just all different things that really go into it. So
Hmm.
um, for you to say that you appreciate them and like them, like that means a lot.
Yeah.
But I have like three people that I work with as far as videographers. My bro Jamal,
Hmm.
for the shoots, he
Yeah.
went to school with us,
Yeah.
and two of my guys that I met in Atlanta, Brooklyn and Jesse, I met them at Morehouse, and they're super cold with it.
Okay.
So they do like a lot of my shooting. And if I have an idea, we'll all hop on the phone, or if I have a song, I'll let them hear it, and we'll just like spitball ideas until we come up with a smooth concept for it.
Right.
And after that, it's just the logistic part of it,
Yeah.
renting out spaces and everything. But I'm glad you said that, man, because they are not. They
Yeah.
are not. It takes time to put them together for real.
For sure, man. I do video and music videos, man. That's
Right,
that's a
right, right,
whole
right.
process. Like, I personally
Right.
don't shoot them myself because it's so much work. It's like a wedding. I feel like it's a lot that goes into it.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
but that's super dope. That's super dope. So my next question for you, so like, how do you feel like you have adapted to everything now with COVID, and everything really being virtual? Do you feel like you truly have adapted yet, or are you still adjusting?
Um, to be honest, I feel like I've adapted. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
I was at the mall today doing a little bit of Christmas shopping, and I had to like stop for a second. It's like, yo, we are really all in here masked up. Like, like from the
Yeah.
kids to the oldest person, it was like crazy. But at the while, it just becomes one track mind. There's commercials with people in masks now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but I think I've got used to it though. I feel like I was finding like my zen at one point. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like everybody's going through that period of focusing on themselves.
Right.
And then I kind of like, step back out here to see what's what. But I think I want to go. I mean, with COVID still going back on and still being on, even things going back on lockdown, like I need to go ahead and, dive back into my own, world real quick again.
Yeah. No,
Like
for
it's been a
sure.
lot of growth going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. So like what's next for you? I know like with music artists you can't announce your next move, but like you could give like a little I don't know, like some kind of idea what you got working coming out soon.
Um, I do have. I mean, I have a couple songs that I know for sure that I'm releasing in 2021.
Okay.
I have one that I've been sitting on. I wrote it in 2018, and I've been sitting on it for like the past 2 years,
Okay.
and I know I'll drop it this year. Like, so I'm in the works of getting that done, and then 2021, I'm really planning to expand. I feel like I did a lot of, or I have done in the past, a lot of writing for myself,
Okay.
and creating songs for myself just to show people that I can really like create, structured music and melodies and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think next for me, expanding myself is to work with other artists, work on other artists' projects and do some writing for other artists. So
Yeah.
I have somebody I'm working with right now, Jasmine Valencia, that I'm super, super excited about. She got an amazing voice, and we're, doing some songwriting and production for her project. So just trying to continue down that road.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
That's dope. That's dope. So now we're down to our last three questions. All right.
Mhm.
So I ask every interview these questions. So first question, what inspires you?
Mm. I feel like that's hmm. I don't know how good of an answer this is. I feel like people are gonna be like, oh, of course he would say that. But
It's all right.
I don't know. I find inspiration. I try to find inspiration in everything, man.
Yeah.
I really do. I feel like if you can take a second to get out of your own head, like you really can find inspiration in like the little things, or
Mm,
just taking a walk and certain things you see, like I feel like can give you inspiration, or
for sure.
seeing some young kids playing and like just I don't know, I just find inspiration in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Even and speaking on that, you know what I'm saying? Like you inspire me, man. Like you're inspiration.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? Like
I appreciate that.
I pull inspiration from people that I know or people that I see like walking in their path and using their gifts, and like being confident in who they are. I draw from that too. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely one of
Yeah.
those people that I'd be like, yeah, like you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just want to go ahead and throw that shout out real quick too.
No, thank you, man. I know we rapped about it, so I appreciate that a lot. Like even
Yeah,
like
you already
just
know.
shouting each other out, it does mean a lot. So
Yeah, you already know.
yeah.
I feel like not to cut you off. I feel like it takes
No.
sometimes I feel like people don't know how like it can seem little, but like for creators and entrepreneurs, like that shit really goes a long way. You know what I'm
It
saying?
does.
It really does. But I feel like
Yeah.
you gotta be on the same page to understand how those little gestures really do help. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so
No.
yeah, like you gotta I get you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
No, definitely, cause it be those moments, like you said, like you question, like, man, should I keep doing this? Like, and then that one message or that one conversation could just change like all the positivity. So
Nah, for sure. For
yeah,
sure. For sure.
yeah. So second question, what is your pet peeve?
Mm. Uh pet peeves. I don't know.
Yeah, this one's always tough. Like,
I don't know. What's one? I'm gonna answer. I'm just thinking. What's one of your pet peeves if you could think of one?
yeah. So I was talking to one of my other interviews about this, but we pretty much said like what when somebody says like, oh yeah man, I'm gonna do something, like I'm gonna do it, and then like they don't do it, or like vice versa, you do it too. So that's like one of my pet peeves. And also another pet peeve is when people like support you when everything's going well, but as soon as something goes wrong, or like you're not really in the limelight, they all like disappear.
Mhm.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves for real.
Man. So I feel like I don't really have too many pet peeves, but if I gotta pick a honest, real one, especially one that's related to what I do and what we do. I feel like a pet peeve of mine. And don't get me wrong, like support who you want to support, show love to who you want to show love to. Like there's artists or fashion brands or whatever of people that I've never met before that I show love to or support just because I resonate with their music.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes it throws me off when, especially in the social media age where I feel like memes or quotes are just made, and it's cool to just resonate with whatever that little phrase is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's cool to resonate with a phrase that'll be like, show love to your day ones and support your day ones, but you don't support your day one. You know what I'm saying? You don't support your day ones, or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like it's become those like, and I know I'm really being like real
Nah,
nitpicky
I get
now,
you.
but it kind of throws me off. It's like, y'all don't, not y'all, but some people really don't live by, some of the quotes and things that we be seeing, but it's cool to engage with it and say like, oh, that's me too. Or
Mhm.
yeah, I left that dude on red too. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's okay. Like, we can laugh at it, but you don't got to resonate with it if you don't really resonate with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right. Yeah. Nah, I get
I
what
know
you're
that was
saying.
a weird one, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, that's real. That's real. I definitely. Yeah, it's kind of questionable. It doesn't.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And it makes me look at myself too. It makes me like check myself and make sure I'm being authentic too. To like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, what I say I agree with and what I feel like I really resonate with. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But I try to hold myself to the same accountability as well.
I hear you. I hear you. So third question, what is your guilty pleasure? Like I'll give an example first. I love like chocolate milkshakes. Like I'm obsessed with chocolate
I
milkshakes.
could go say, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So like
okay.
what is it, what is your, it doesn't have to be like food or anything, but it could be anything.
Um, I do have a made of sweet tooth sometimes.
Okay.
All right, I got three. All right, I have a made of, I have a made of sweet tooth sometimes. I used to do it a lot more. I don't do it as much as I used to now, but I'm still cool with chilling, kicking back, and watching the episode of SpongeBob.
Okay.
Like I don't know why. I don't know. It was like one of my favorite shows. Like, and I'll still watch it every now and then, like just on some random
Yeah.
if I'm around. And then my third one, and this is a new one too. It's this anime called Attack on Titan,
Okay.
and it just came. Like, I mean, it's been out for some time. They just dropped the fourth season, and I'm not an anime person. Like, I
Yeah.
never was really big on it. I tried in the past and couldn't really get into them, other than like Dragon Ball Z. But
Yeah.
I started watching this one, and like I binged the I binged the whole thing in like two weekends. Like, and it's actually really good. Like, it's really good. So I
Okay.
might I might start checking out some other animes. Man.
Okay. That's what's
Yeah.
up. I don't think I've seen that.
This man, look, it's up there. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
All right, I did check that out. Check that out. All right, John. So those are all my questions for you. Will you be back? We do another one.
Yeah, I was about to say I definitely I mean, I've been trying. I've been just been following and tapping in with what you got going on. Like I said, I definitely support it and rock what you got going on.
Yeah,
And I
thank
definitely would want to tap back in with you on, some type of content, link up, something, something like for
Yeah.
sure. I'm definitely with that.
No, definitely. That's crazy because I've been like just reaching out to like I don't know people that like that seems like they want to create and just do stuff.
Mhm.
So definitely, I'm totally open to that.
I mean, before we go, can I ask you
Yeah.
one question?
Yeah.
What, not to turn the hats around, but like what, and I kind of just have always wanted this too. Especially when it comes to having a brand and and presenting yourself. Like, to be honest, the more on camera you're comfortable with being, and the more on camera you make yourself available to people, like the more people resonate with your brand and stuff.
Mhm.
So I guess my question is, what was your deciding factor in like, doing the different blogs of you in the gym and you in the weight room and talking and stuff like that? What was your deciding factor in that? And then was it a hard decision for you to like start, you know what I'm saying, to actually hop out there and
Yeah.
start doing
Yes. Oh yes. That's a great question. So yeah, it's funny. This switch the script, but no, I was in Australia, right? And
Mhm.
one of my friends out there, my friend's husband, he was like, "Yo, you should just document this experience," like, cause I wasn't sure if I was. It was something like I was going to get picked up by a team, and I wasn't sure if it was going to happen because visas and all that. And I was
Yeah,
like, man, I don't want to document this because what if it doesn't happen? Like, like chill. And he's like, nah,
right, right,
just like he just put the camera out and he just started asking me questions. And that's when
yeah,
I was like, I was starting to see like, okay, looking back at this from a week from now, that's pretty dope. I'm glad I documented that
yeah,
because now I made the team, like stuff like that.
yeah,
So it's just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's uncomfortable like as hell. Like I like this isn't like comfortable for me, but I'm getting better every time. And when I look back at my content now, I'm just like now like, dude, I can put together a documentary, of just like what happened in 2020 because I've interviewed so many people.
Yeah.
I filmed so many protests in DC. So it's just like now I don't even think about. I used to be like a perfectionist with editing and all that stuff. Like
Mhm.
now I'm just like just
Right,
shoot
right,
it.
right.
So I mean, no, that's a great question. Like now I just it's uncomfortable, but I know I need to do it because it'll make
Yeah,
sense later. Like
yeah,
so,
right, right, right. That's all right, man. That's all
yeah,
right. I was just curious as I continue to step out my comfort zones as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you're doing great. Just the fact you've been so consistent and you stuck to like, because the music industry is not easy, like at all. Like I feel like it's relatable to sports, of course.
Yeah,
So the fact you stuck with it and you're still going, that's pretty inspirational for real. So
appreciate that. I
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, definitely. So all right, so that pretty much concludes this interview. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Spacey Cloud and The Loop, for sponsoring my podcast. And
Okay, okay.
yeah, we'll be in touch. And I'll
Yeah,
send you
all
this
right.
footage. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely will be.
for sure.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you
All
again.
right.
All right, see you,
So,
man.
for sure.